Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Business Banking at Jovia Financial Credit Union, and we're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship. We bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help grow your business, and we interview top business leaders in the industry. Helping provide us with business empowerment today is our special guest, Harrison Barron, founder and CEO of Barron Media Group. So Harrison's been working online in online communities, helping growing businesses for several years now. He has an impressive following through various media outlets, and his passions have led him to encourage others to pursue theirs. So very cool stuff. He's well versed in social media platforms, podcasting, YouTube, and so much more. So Harrison, welcome to the show today.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we're very psyched to have you on, and I'll be honest, it's something I think every business really needs to focus on is how they're presenting themselves. And, I was really impressed by, on your website, you have a YouTube video which explains, why you should be in business, or
sure.
What the meaning of all that is. And I was very passionate, and it really appealed to me, as somebody who, I work with many businesses, so as you do as well. So tell me a little bit about your background, how you arrived to where you are.
Sure. So I'll give you the abbreviated version of it. So I originally started out in the technology world as far as IT goes, and graduated college, got my first job, my first, quote unquote real big boy job.
Yeah.
And then from there, wasn't making the money I wanted to make, but I was learning, I was developing these connections. I had started building a following. I had done all of these different things. I started a podcast where I really built just really quality connections. And part of having a business, in my opinion, is you have to make sure that the connection isn't just superficial, or it can't be fake. It has to be real. It has to be like you're genuinely interested in the person. And then I was like, you know what? If I'm a young dude, if I don't pull the trigger right now and jump off the ship, I don't know if I ever will. I don't know. I might just be an employee forever, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that was the big factor in saying, hey, let's jump ship. I know I know pretty much everything I need to know. Let's just do it and see if it works, and it did.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, definitely, a lot of people throw on that word relationship, and but it's truly a different thing. I've been doing what I do for 11 years at the same organization, and you build these relationships where you really get to know the people, and you really care about them, and you care about their business. So I imagine that that goes into a lot of what you do.
Yeah, big time.
So from there, tell us about specifically why going into Barron Media Group. What's your focus, and what is it you're really passionate about?
Sure. So this sounds super weird, but one of my biggest passions is literally just helping businesses. And I was going to leave and start an IT company, realized I probably didn't have the skills and anything like that I needed to do that, but I knew how to use the internet. I knew how to build websites and stuff like that, because I was doing it kind of on the side for a lot of people. And because I had the podcast, believe it or not, I attribute a lot of my success to that, because it forced me to do so many things and learn so many things, and how to build a following, and everything from algorithms all the way down to what people see. So because of all those things, that was like the key factor to say, hey, this is what I need to do. This is how I can do it. And then if I could do it for myself and other people, if I could do it for myself and a couple other people, why can't I replicate it for a business?
Right.
And that's literally how I got born.
And it's such a great way to tell the story of a business, and there's I really feel like that's an area where people are looking for the content.
Sure.
So it's a great way to explore what a business has to offer. So tell us the story about one of the businesses that you've worked with, and how what you do might have made an impact for them.
Sure. It's tough to find like a specific story, but One of the things I tell everybody, and I don't want to give a specific business, but one of the things I tell people is you have to figure out how to add value. And if you don't figure out how to add value, and yes, you could sell a product or sell, service, but if you don't add value and you don't develop that relationship, I run social media accounts for a bunch of different companies, and one of them right here in Nassau County, not too far away from here, but it goes more than me just doing their social media. It's running that newsletter. It's making sure I'm on top of things. It's going there. It's, kissing babies and shaking hands, as some people say. So a lot of people have this really bad concept of business where it has to be suit and tie. Like, I'm here in a hoodie, but, it has to be suit and tie. It has to be this, especially in the tech world. I'm not Zuckerberg, but Zuckerberg doesn't walk around in a suit, but the CEO of Chase does. Right. So I'm in a world where I don't really have to do that, and people don't pay me to look good. Most of the time, people don't even see me. I'm just doing things in the background, and that's how things get done. So for me, if you're adding value and, hey, let me run your social media, let me do this. Hey, I have a quick question for you. I'm not going to bill you for it. Ask me a question. What do you need? What do you need help with? And then I think the thing that differentiates myself more than anybody else, and this is probably the biggest fail I see in most businesses, is they never ask. They always ask, what can I do for you? Which forces people to say, well, no, I don't need anything else, right? You go to the dealership, right. Oh, what else can I get for you? Oh, no, I don't want to buy it. No. What is your biggest challenge? The moment you ask somebody, what is your biggest challenge, is when they say, oh, dude, my scheduling's messed up. I can't figure out employee scheduling. Perfect. I'm an internet wizard. I'll find you 2 or 3 softwares that you could look into this week. It'll take me 10 minutes to do, and that's going to change their business. Working with a dog groomer, right? Everything was papers. Somebody would come in, she'd shuffle through papers, and unbelievably inefficient. Yeah. Couldn't read her handwriting, whatever it might be. There was always something that comes up, and then now it's like she has a CRM. Now we can do real marketing through there. She can keep track of all her customers, what happened with the dogs last time. Like, every little detail can be accounted for, and then now her business is flourishing from it. And the simplest little thing for me to do changed her business completely.
Yeah, well, and I'll also give you a compliment in that we've met twice, and both times that we've met, I don't know if you kept track of it or you did it on purpose, but you offered me something complimentary and something that was helpful advice. Both times.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
The first 5 minutes that we met.
I try to make it like
just the way you are, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I try, man. And that, and I love to give compliments.
Well, it's you know what? I mean, everybody needs to understand we're all in this together. A lot of businesses are so worried about the competition. Guess what? The way that you address the competition is that you do have those solid relationships that you can count on. Because, for example, I'm in banking. Mm-hmm. You're in the social media world. There are lots of different consultants that can help you with either.
Sure.
But I think there has to be a differentiator. There has to be a reason that somebody is working with you. So for you, what's your differentiator?
I love asking people, what are your biggest challenges? Yeah. Because people think that their biggest challenges are actually big challenges, and most of the time, people think of it's like traffic, right? Everybody thinks oh my God, traffic, it's this major problem. No, traffic isn't a problem. It's just what we have to live with. But here's the solution, right? Tesla comes out with cars that self-drive. If everybody got it, and look, I'm not a Tesla spokesperson by any stretch of the imagination, but I did do a road trip in a Tesla. Those cars are built to just continuously drive and drive themselves. If everybody had a Tesla, chances are pretty good traffic would go down tremendously. It's not really a big problem. It's just there's a solution for it. Hey, there's a traffic jam. Why? Oh, there's a car not pulled over to the shoulder. If you just address the one problem of the car not pulled over to the shoulder, the whole thing switches. It's the same thing in business. You may think, oh my God, employee scheduling. Hey, I don't have a way to track projects. Great. There's 10, 20 different softwares out there that will help you do project management and help you organize it all. And then your whole problem goes away in hours.
Clears the bottleneck. You are listening to Tara Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Denisha Boston Hill, and your guest today is Harrison Barron, founder and CEO of Barron Media Group. So, talking about the challenges that some businesses have faced, obviously you're in a business, so sure. What are the challenges you've faced?
They're all self-inflicted. I think when people start businesses, they don't actually take them seriously. They go, and I see it time and time again where people are like, oh, I'm like, what do you do? Oh, I own my own business. Okay, what is that? I sell clothing. Cool. That's awesome. Like, that's what you want to do. That's great. How many hours a week do you work? Oh, I work like 20, 30 hours a week. Great. How are your sales? Nah, they could be better. Well, why are you only working 20 hours a week?
Right.
Why, like, if you're, but I don't have any money for an ad budget. Great. You have a cell phone, right? Yes. Yeah. Why are you not cold calling? You should be cold calling every single little boutique that would fit your bill everywhere in the country. I hate excuses more than anything. Like, even this morning, right? I went out, I did irresponsible things last night, and I woke up, and I'm also I've just been under the weather. I have a cough I can't shake. And I was like, oh, you know what? I really don't feel good. I still showed up. Like, people don't take their businesses seriously, and I see it time and time again, and then people are like, yeah, but you're going to fail. No, I'm not going to fail. Why are you not going to fail? Because I wake up every single morning, and I do my job, which is go to work, perform for customers, and then in my free time, which there is like literally none of, I'll either shell that out between doing additional marketing for myself in cost-effective ways or going to see the people I care about.
Right.
That's it. You have to take it seriously. There's no beating around the bush. All my problems are self-inflicted because I just work and work and work and work. And the moment I find a problem, I'm like, you know what? I'll spend 8 hours and fix it. Whatever it is. And some people go home. For me, that's what I do. But you trade success for, business. I mean, you trade success for a lifestyle. I work way more than I ever have, but I'm also way happier than I've ever been.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also, and this is something you've also addressed in one of your videos, was that you have to love what you do. And to me, it's obvious also that you're genuine about that, and you can't fake that.
You can't. It's literally impossible. I love seeing people, there's always the next expert, right? There was Facebook, social media experts, there was Bitcoin experts, there's an expert in everything, and it's too easy to get information now, and people will start calling you out, and I love it.
Now, how do you do that? How do you stay an expert in a field where? Because I'll admit there are people out there who will say to me, I don't need to pay for marketing, or I can bring up Facebook myself. Well, to me that seems very short-sighted. But I'm not an expert in that field.
Sure.
I would turn to somebody like you and ask that. So, what are your thoughts on that?
It goes back to doing your job every day, right? I do my job every day. My job every day is to perform for my clients. So if that's learning a new algorithm that came out from Facebook, or figuring out, LinkedIn just launched 2 new modules on their profiles where, products that you offer, or services that you offer, and one other section. It's my job. My job is social media. I sell coaching courses and stuff like that to people. I need to know that. So why wouldn't I do that? If you're a landscaper, right, and crabgrass is getting into somebody's property, it's your job to go figure out how to eradicate that crabgrass. Go do your damn job. It's not that hard. And then by going to work every day and doing your job every day and researching the issues that you have, that is how you become an expert. I wasn't an expert when I started my company, and I'm probably still not even an expert now. But I work every day to become better. You can't want to be in the NBA just because you're 6'5" and not go and practice every single day to go play.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. That's true.
I want to be a marathon runner. Great. What did you do today to make you better for tomorrow? Well, I didn't even leave the house today. Well, if you're not leaving the house today, or you're not even getting on the treadmill, how could you possibly plan on running a marathon? It sounds cool in your brain, but if you don't actually go do it, you're never going to get it done.
You're not training for it. You're not going to. Yeah, I would agree with that. So, now your focus, there's a lot of focus on social media. Are there other areas of expertise that you focus on?
Just really the digital space, and the digital space is really where companies should be focusing on building their brand. So that could be everything from websites, Google, SEO, all that kind of stuff. Social media obviously is a huge one. Email marketing. There's so much, and this is what I love about my business. I get to help people make money. So that's the most rewarding thing, in my opinion. Like, hey, I'm struggling. Okay, great. We'll spend this money with me, and we're going to go make more money, right? And I'll figure out how to make more money for you. Just sign on the dotted line. I'll get it done.
I like that.
You got to deliver, though. That's the only catch to it.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Harrison Barron, founder and CEO of Barron Media Group. My name is Ray Schwetz. On the voice of Nash Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time Shiro to all of us. Now it's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. Get free tips to help boost your retirement savings now at aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Ray Schwetz, and our guest today is Harrison Barron, founder and CEO of Barron Media Group. So, Harrison, I mean, when we were talking about your business and how much time it takes, and obviously that doesn't leave a lot of time left for your lifestyle, but lifestyle, you know, we were discussing during the break, lifestyle does figure into your business, correct?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of, actually, another large portion of why I started my business is lifestyle design. There's nothing more infuriating to me than seeing people that hate their jobs. You know, the seat warmers that hate their jobs, they're spreading negativity on the internet, they shouldn't be in the company in the first place, and nobody has the guts to fire them. That's just the nature of the beast. The reason, you know, one of the major factors of why I started my business is because I wanted to live a lifestyle that I want to live, right? I want everything that every 25-year-old could and I'm 27, but every 25-year-old could ever want, right? I want a Lamborghini, I want a Ferrari, I want a yacht, I want a giant house, right? The difference between me and everybody else is the fact that I wake up and go do my job every day, right? I have to close accounts, I have to go perform for people, I have to do all of these different things. It goes back to the MBA thing. The other thing I like to do is I love to travel. Absolutely love it.
Nice.
A couple weeks ago, I did a nice little road trip in a Tesla all the way down to Austin.
Wow.
Took us, 4 days. So I built my business into the lifestyle I wanted. I can work anywhere as long as I have internet connections. I could go do anything because I built that business. And on top of that, I'm never far away from somebody reaching out to me. And I always carry myself how I would talk to anybody, right? How you see me here is exactly I'm the same person you met the other night when we were out, right?
Yeah.
And the time before that, I'm the exact, I hate people that put this fake look on them,
right?
Because it doesn't accomplish anything. People buy from people they like. I know not everybody's going to like me. There's no doubt. I'm totally okay with it. I know people don't like me. But I could live that life that I want to live, and I don't care that they don't like me.
Well, you want to work with the people who want to work with you. So, yeah, it's kind of like when I was a kid, it used to be parent face. You'd put on parent face to the people, that said you impressed them. Or, they didn't think that you were a bad kid or whatever. But, yeah, as you grow up, you realize that that's not something you should be doing if you want to live your best life.
Yeah, you can't. People are going to catch you faking it at some point or another. And the moment they do, they're going to bury you.
Yeah.
The only difference between you and I sitting here on your show and the difference between us sitting on my show for the Brutally Honest podcast is I can curse on my show. And we also may indulge in some beverages. But
I can't wait to be on.
Yeah, you got to come on. But but I'm the same guy.
Yeah.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm the exact same guy you would get at 9 a.m., at 1 p.m., 5 p.m., or out of the bar. It's the same person.
Now, one of the things you said made me think, so obviously a lot of thought before you made this leap of faith and got into what you're doing now. You did give a lot of thought as to planning how your business works and how you wanted to work it and all the things you needed to incorporate to make sure that you could travel and work at the same time, for example. So that said, for some of the businesses that approach you, I mean, what's the best time for a business to approach you? Is it when they're starting? Is it when they're having trouble? Is it,
when they're succeeding.
When they're succeeding, okay.
Yeah. So nobody ever wants to spend more money, and a lot of, I have this conversation with everybody. I don't actually sell a tangible product. There is nothing that I produce that you could just say, like this cup of coffee, right? You go to 7-Eleven, you go spend money at 7-Eleven for an overpriced cup of coffee that tastes like garbage, but they give it to you, right? I walk out with something, and now I have something in my hands.
Right.
Everything I do is completely digital. I won't print anything. I don't do anything like that.
There's nothing physical.
You can never touch anything that I do. Even my podcast, right? I do my online courses. You could print something out.
Right.
But you never can actually touch what I've done. I'm not sculpting anything. So, to go back to your question of...
When is Yeah,
it's... When a business is succeeding, they have money coming in, that's the best time because now they can spend money with me and then I can make that money grow. When you're starving, I'm usually way too expensive for anybody that's starving in business.
That's a good point, yeah.
And what I do is not like a leaky pipe where you're like, you know what, I gotta get money out. I gotta go fix the leaky pipe. Because I don't actually have a physical product, most people it's not touchable, it's not tangible.
Right.
And because of that, I have to make sure that I perform. So when a company's doing good or decent, that's when they should call me in to then make more money. When you're on the decline, that's the wrong time.
Right. That's either too late or it's just not going to happen. And that makes a lot of sense because I do see that. A lot of businesses, like, for example, some of the brick and mortar businesses that are going out of business now, they rested on their laurels. Mm-hmm. They probably could have spent more money on R&D to say, all right, well, for example, Toys R Us. They could have spent more R&D to say, all right, well, what business should we be in? We do business well selling toys in a physical place.
Yep.
But now, what do we got to do to continue and to compete against companies like Amazon? And
sure.
How do we think that through? And I think another good example of that is Disney with their Disney Plus launch, and
it's
they're obviously
innovate or die.
Yeah.
I love when people are like, I'm like, oh, how's business? Like, oh, good. I'm like, oh, are you growing it? No, I'm not really trying to. I'm like, okay, well, you're gonna die soon. Like,
right.
Your business is gonna crumble. Customers come and they go. Like, I could have bought this cup of coffee from anywhere.
Right.
So by me buying a cup of coffee from 7-Eleven now hurts Starbucks, right? Or somebody else. Because of that, it's the same thing. You have to keep pushing out new customers. You have to keep acquiring them. You think McDonald's needs to advertise? Of course they do. Because they need to make sure that you get hungry watching their ads, so you go in and spend more money. Otherwise, you'll see them all over the place, but that's why they keep spending money. Same thing with Burger King. Same thing with Wendy's. They all know that they need to spend money to stay top of mind. It's the exact same way.
Right. And staying top of mind is really key. But I think that's, I like the tagline, innovate or die. I think that should be the...
I want to get a shirt with it. Right on, innovate or die.
But in this day and age, it is ridiculous to think you can rest on your laurels. Now, that said, I mean, what advice would you have for businesses, though, that, let's say that there's somebody out there who is warming a chair and they're not happy with their job, and they're thinking about what they can do to change that. What would be your advice to them?
If a business or a employee,
and I'm sorry, yes, an employee, let's say, is thinking about going into their own business.
If you're thinking about going into your own business, there's never a good time to do it.
Okay.
I've never met anyone that was like, man, everything just worked out for me, and I couldn't have started at a better time. Literally will never happen. That's the farthest thing ever. You're always better off taking the leap of faith and starting the business, because I firmly believe it takes probably a solid year to really launch a business. At least that was my experience, and I don't know anyone that had like overnight success.
Yeah.
That's number one. And if you're not happy with your job, quit. I don't care how much money you have in the bank, leave. Because your happiness, you can't put a price on happiness. If you're unhappy at your job, you're not doing yourself a favor, you're not doing the company a favor, and honestly, if you just go to your boss and say, hey, not for nothing, I'm miserable here. What can we do to either make me happy, or can you help me find a new job? Business owners or managers will have way more respect for you than ever before for coming out of your comfort zone. You can now potentially be happy, and if you're a happy employee, you're going to be exceedingly more productive than you would ever be anywhere else.
Yeah.
You're an asset or you're a liability. If you're a liability and you're just sitting there in a chair, burning the company's money, they're going to figure it out eventually, and then they're going to fire you. And getting fired is probably the best thing that happens to people.
In those positions, yeah.
Because now they're forced to change. They don't realize it yet. They're, screw him. But now they have to go do something. They have to, they weren't proactive, but now they're forced into doing something. Maybe they'll figure out those things. For other people, if you really need that job, you should be working way harder than you are. if you're not happy or you're just a seat warmer and you can't get angry that you got fired. You can't get angry that you're not making more money because the company will see that you're just sitting there and doing nothing. And if you work hard and you want to get to that next pay goal or anything like that, go find a different company that's going to pay you more money to do the same job you're doing.
Yeah, that's good advice. And what would you say to someone who is in a business or they're thinking about the best way to start their business and ramp up properly? What would you say to someone like that?
Don't do what I did. So
learn from my mistakes.
Yeah, learn from my mistakes. Learn that business. There is way too much business in this world that, unless you have a boss or a business owner who is like I need every ounce of business in the world and nobody can ever be better than me, that's just a toxic person. Get away from that. But otherwise, tell your boss, hey, look, I would love to start a business like this.
Yeah.
And then that person might be like, hey, I think it's a great idea. Well, where do you want to go? Oh, I want to move down to the Carolinas. Perfect. Do you want to start a business down there? Yes. How about this? We take what I have, we replicate it. I'll be your number one investor, and now we're a power couple.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, oh, you know what? I'm going to go full send by myself, which is exactly what I did in an industry that I didn't know all that well and just figured it out as I went along. I wish I spent a year or two in a marketing company and soaked up everything I could possibly do. But on the flip side of things, now that gives me the ability because I'm not taught by somebody. I have free range of thinking and stuff like that. That's the benefit of it.
Right.
So whatever one works for you, just do something.
Right. I like that. Well, I think the collaboration, I think that makes a lot of sense if you're in that position. And, hey, you know what? It circles back to the first word that we talked about, which was relationship.
Sure.
So that brings it full circle. Now, as we're getting to a close, what's the one thing that you'd like to leave our listener with?
Do what makes you happy. Don't do something because other people want you to do it. The moment you stop caring about what other people think, and this, everybody and their mother said this, and the people that are, I'm realizing the people that are actually truly happy are the ones that say this the most, is go do what actually makes you happy. Go figure that out. If you have to lock yourself in a room for 4 days straight and potentially lose your job because you're not happy and you got to go figure it out, go do that. Go figure out what you enjoy and then go do that. And you'll figure out the career thing later. Like, you'll figure out the business thing. Like, I want to live in like a small van and travel the country, and that's what I want. Like, that, people are like, really? Yeah, I want a Ferrari and Lamborghini, of course, but like, that's dreams down the road. I'll get there eventually, and when the company builds itself and then I sell it or do whatever, I'll go pursue that thing. That's what makes me happy then. I like traveling now. That's what I do now. I travel all the time.
Yeah.
Just do what makes you happy. Stop caring about what other people think. It doesn't do anything for you.
No, that's sage advice. I would agree with that. And where can we find you? Please give us your company website information and phone number.
So, brutallyhonestpodcast.com, the BarronMediaGroup.com, and HarrisonBarron.com are like the three sources of where, if you want to hear more about me or anything like that, and you think that I'm interesting, then go check out the podcast, BrutallyHonestPodcast.com. If you're a company and you want marketing, you want to talk about marketing, BarronMediaGroup.com. And if you're looking to master LinkedIn and crush sales on there, HarrisonBarron.com. That's like the best ways to find me.
Love it. Okay, that's great. Thank you for being with us today, Harrison.
Thanks for having me, man. This is cool. I like this.
Yeah, me too. All right, so DB's philosophy, I got to throw that in there. The bad news is that time flies. The good news is that you're the pilot. We want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Denise Boston Hill, your co-host and producers. This is an NCC Foundation Business Leaders Council production. Visit ncc.edu/WHPC for more information. Available on iHeartRadio as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcast, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the National Community College Foundation on the voice of National Community College. We'll talk with you next week.